Hey everybody, welcome back. We are going deep today, folks. We are diving into AI, its thirst for water, and the recent wildfires in Los Angeles.
Right.
Pretty intense stuff.
Hit the topic.
So to help us kind of break this all down, we're going to be taking a look at excerpts from this article. Politicians blame Los Angeles fires on explosion of AI data centers.
Right.
So, yeah, you guys want to know if AI actually played a role in these fires and what it all means moving forward? So let's get into it.
Let's do it.
This article, man, it kicks off with this pretty shocking image. You've got firefighters in LA. They're facing dry hydrants
Oh,
while battling these intense wildfires.
oh man.
And, politicians are now pointing fingers at these AI data centers, claiming that their massive water usage is a part of the problem.
Well, the West Coast, especially Southern California, has been battling drought for years now.
Right.
So water resources are already really stretched thin.
Yeah.
And adding this huge demand from data centers is,
Yeah, and these fires,
just exacerbates the problem.
they were devastating. The article mentions at least 24 lives lost and over 120,000 structures damaged or destroyed.
Yeah, it was a major disaster. And this is where the rapid growth of AI comes into play.
Okay.
These powerful AI systems rely on massive data centers.
Right.
And those centers need a tremendous amount of water just for cooling.
That's right. The article actually throws out this prediction that by 2027, AI's global water demand could actually surpass the consumption of some entire European nations.
Oh, wow.
That is wild.
Yeah.
That's just around the corner.
Yeah, it's not that far away.
What's the connection here? How are these data centers using so much water?
Well, it's all about keeping those powerful computers cool.
Right.
You see, data centers, they house thousands upon thousands of servers,
Oh, yeah.
all generating immense heat as they process data.
Right.
And so to prevent overheating, they require these sophisticated cooling systems, many of which rely heavily on water.
Okay, so it's not that AI itself is like, drinking the water.
Yeah,
It's more that like the infrastructure supporting it needs all this water for cooling.
exactly. It's the energy-intensive process of keeping these vast server farms operational that's putting such a strain on water resources. And as the demand for AI grows, so too will the demand for data centers and subsequently water.
So what's being done about it?
Well, lawmakers are starting to pay attention.
Good.
There are actually 3 new bills on the table in California, all aimed at encouraging these AI data centers to adopt more sustainable water practices. One proposes tax breaks for data centers that implement water recycling systems,
How interesting.
while another seeks to establish strict water efficiency standards for all new AI tools.
I see. So, the article even quotes State Senator Steve Padilla, who is sponsoring one of these bills, and he says, this is not a new issue, and it's not one that's been created because of the fire. It's one that is exacerbated by it, and I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So they're realizing this isn't just going to go away.
Right. Assemblymember Diane Papin adds, water's a limited resource. I'm trying to make it so we are prepared and ahead of the curve as we pursue this new technology.
So it seems like they're trying to, find a balance between promoting this technological progress and protecting our resources.
Yeah, for sure.
But will these bills actually be enough?
Yeah.
How will the AI industry react to this increased scrutiny? The article kind of dives into the water usage of some major players like OpenAI, Google, Microsoft. And their water consumption has absolutely skyrocketed in recent years.
Well, yeah, that's largely due to the construction of new data centers to support their expanding AI operations. Microsoft, for instance, saw their water usage increase by a staggering 40% between 2022 and 2023. To put that into perspective, that increase alone is equivalent to the daily water needs of over 100,000 households.
Wow, that really puts things into perspective. It's no wonder people are raising concerns about AI's environmental impact,
Right.
especially with climate change already straining resources.
Exactly. On one hand, you have proponents advocating for trillions in investments to further develop AI, touting its potential benefits.
Right.
But on the other hand, we have to consider the potential consequences. Could we end up exacerbating water scarcity issues in the pursuit of technological advancement?
Yeah, and the article actually quotes Jake Grobe from Iowa Citizens for Community Improvement. And he puts it pretty bluntly. He says, ChatGPT is not a necessity for human life, and yet we are literally taking water to feed a computer.
Wow.
It really makes you think, What are we prioritizing?
That's a powerful statement that really gets to the heart of the issue. And while the article doesn't definitively link AI as the direct cause of the LA fires, it does raise a critical point. As we see more extreme weather events like droughts and wildfires, we need to consider the potential role of AI's growing water footprint.
Yeah, it's a complex puzzle with many pieces.
Definitely.
And to make it even more intricate, the article mentions Elon Musk blaming the fires on factors other than AI.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it seems like there's a lot more to uncover here.
There's definitely more to the story than meets the eye. It's important to remember that complex events like wildfires rarely have a single cause. While AI's water usage is a significant concern, it's crucial to examine all contributing factors.
So we're seeing this tension, right, between the potential benefits of AI
Right.
and the very real concerns about its environmental impact,
Uh-huh.
especially when it comes to water.
Yeah.
So, like, what are the ethical considerations here that we should be thinking about?
That's a crucial question. When we talk about AI's thirst,
Right.
it's not just about like the literal consumption of water, right? It's also about the metaphorical thirst for resources and energy to fuel its development.
Right.
So we need to ask ourselves, is this sustainable in the long run?
Yeah, it feels like this bit of a paradox, right?
Yeah.
We're developing these incredibly advanced systems
Right.
that can potentially solve some of humanity's biggest challenges, but at what cost?
Exactly. Take, for example, the development of AI-powered tools to address climate change.
Right.
While these tools hold immense promise,
Right.
we need to ensure they're not contributing to the problem that they're trying to solve.
So how do we move forward?
Hmm.
Isn't it about finding more efficient ways to cool these massive data centers? Or are there, like, more fundamental shifts that we need to make in how we approach AI development?
It's likely a combination of both.
Okay.
On the technological front, there's a lot of research going into more sustainable cooling methods,
Like what?
like using air cooling
Okay.
or exploring alternative cooling fluids. Some companies are even experimenting with locating data centers in cooler climates
Oh, wow.
or even underwater to reduce reliance on water-intensive cooling systems.
That's pretty innovative.
Yeah.
Are there any promising solutions on the horizon that you think could really make a difference?
One exciting area is the development of more energy-efficient AI models themselves.
Okay.
Currently, training these massive AI models requires an enormous amount of computing power,
Right.
which translates to a huge energy demand and subsequently a bigger water footprint for cooling.
So if we can make the AI itself more efficient, that would have a ripple effect on the entire infrastructure.
Precisely. By developing AI models that require less computational power, we can reduce the energy needed to train and run them, which in turn lowers the demand on data lenders and their cooling systems.
Sounds like a win-win. But even with these advancements, there's still this fundamental question of scale.
Right.
As AI becomes more and more integrated into our lives, won't the demand for these data centers and their resources continue to grow?
That's a valid point. Even with increased efficiency, the sheer scale of AI adoption could still present challenges.
Yeah.
And this is where policy and regulation come into play.
You're talking about those California bills we mentioned earlier.
Yes, and potentially even broader regulations at the national
Right.
or even international level.
I see.
These policies could incentivize sustainable practices in the AI industry, encourage research into alternative cooling technologies, and set limits on water usage for data centers.
It sounds like addressing this issue is going to require like a multifaceted approach.
It will.
Technological advancements,
Yes.
policy changes, and perhaps even shifts in consumer behavior. So what can our listeners do on an individual level?
That's a great question. While it might seem like individual actions are a drop in the bucket compared to the scale of this issue,
Right.
collective awareness and conscious choices can make a difference.
Okay. What kind of choices are we talking about?
Well, for starters, be mindful of your own digital consumption.
Okay.
Do you really need to stream that movie in ultra-high definition?
Right.
Could you reduce your reliance on cloud storage services? These small changes can collectively reduce the strain on data centers.
So it's about being more conscious of our digital footprint
Right.
and making choices that align with our values.
Exactly. Additionally, you can support companies that are committed to sustainability and ethical AI practices.
Okay.
Vote with your dollars and send a message that environmental responsibility matters.
It's like we were talking about earlier, the power of collective action.
Exactly.
If enough people demand change, companies and policymakers will have to listen.
Absolutely. And don't underestimate the power of staying informed and engaging in these conversations.
Yeah.
The more people understand the connection between AI and its environmental impact, the more likely we are to find sustainable solutions.
So it's not about demonizing AI or halting its progress.
Right.
It's about finding a way to develop and utilize this powerful technology
Yes.
in a way that benefits humanity without compromising the health of our planet.
That's precisely it. It's about finding that balance,
Yeah.
that sweet spot where technological innovation and environmental stewardship go hand in hand. And it's a journey we all need to embark on together.
So there's no easy answer here, huh?
There really isn't.
It's a complex issue with a lot of moving parts.
It is. We have that immediate need to address the water crisis in those drought-prone regions.
Yeah.
And then we have the long-term challenge of developing a sustainable AI infrastructure.
Right.
And then the ethical considerations of balancing, technological advancement with environmental responsibility.
Yeah. It can feel a bit overwhelming,
It can.
Like, where do we even begin to tackle all of this?
I think the first step is to kind of shift our perspective a bit.
Okay.
Instead of viewing this as, just a problem,
Right.
let's reframe it as an opportunity.
An opportunity. In what way?
Well, think about it. This situation is really pushing us to innovate, right?
Okay.
To think outside the box, to come up with these creative solutions that we might not have even considered otherwise.
So it's forcing us to kind of reevaluate our relationship with technology a little bit.
Exactly.
And consider its impact on, the world around us.
This is a chance to develop new technologies, new policies, and even like new social norms that prioritize both progress and sustainability.
Yeah.
It's about designing a future where AI can flourish without depleting, our planet's precious resources.
So instead of hitting the brakes on AI development,
Right.
we need to steer it in a more sustainable direction.
That's a great analogy. It's not about stopping progress. It's about choosing a path that leads to a future where both humanity and the environment can thrive.
And that kind of brings us back to you, our listener.
Yeah.
What role can you play in all of this?
That's the question.
It's easy to feel like individual actions don't really make a difference.
Right.
When we're talking about these global issues like climate change and water scarcity.
But that's simply not true. Every choice we make, every action we take, it all has a ripple effect.
Okay.
By being more conscious of our digital consumption,
Right.
supporting sustainable businesses, and engaging in these conversations, we contribute to this collective shift in awareness and behavior.
So it's like casting a vote in a way for the kind of future we want to see.
It is.
A future where technology serves humanity without harming the planet.
And remember, this isn't just about AI, right?
Right.
It's about taking a more mindful and responsible approach to technology in general. It's about recognizing that our choices have consequences and that, we have the power to shape the future.
Absolutely. Well, as we wrap up this deep dive, we'll leave you with this final thought. The future of AI, and really the future of our world, is not predetermined. It's being written right now, and you have a hand in writing it.
Ask questions, stay informed, make conscious choices, and engage in the conversation.
Yeah.
Your actions, no matter how small they may seem, can contribute to a more sustainable and equitable future for all.
Thanks for joining us on this journey. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.